Well, welcome back to another awesome episode, if I do say so myself, of Tomorrow's Luxury Living. I'm your host today. I've hijacked the show. My name's Matt.
We're giving him another crack.
He is. Some call him brave and some call him stupid, but here we are today anyway, and thanks for having us and thanks for being here.
Mate, thanks for being the host that you are.
Come on. Last episode we had an awesome conversation, and really it was just like asking a whole lot of questions about who's Jaime, what drives him. It was personal. Go back and watch it. It's still there available online if you haven't watched it. But we had an awesome insight, JB, into like who you are. We spoke about passion. We spoke about just that mental factor that you have that's so strong in who you are. And you know, in today's episode, if it's okay with you, I'd love to just really probably drill a little bit deeper down into the practicals and the business side of who you are. Yeah. And more specifically, what your business is all about, the services that you provide, and all those sorts of things. But before we get there, just tell us how you got into this line of business and work.
Oh, I have no idea. I think I just woke up one day and my hair was already combed and I just fell into this. Exactly. I think we all hope and wish that life works that way. Sometimes it might for some people. But no, it's been a bit of a journey. As I mentioned in the last episode, I won't go back and watch it. Like Matt said, it's pretty deep episode where I dig deep on a few issues in the way that I was brought into this world. But like, you know, leaving school at 40 and a half, you know, I went straight into sales and marketing, worked with TV channels, worked with radio stations, worked in all forms of sales, brown and white goods, and obviously I was known early on for being in the car trade, winning a lot of awards in luxury car sales brands and managing luxury brands. And then you know, later on got involved, it was all sort of pointing into where I am now, but then got into affordable housing and construction and design, and then obviously into project marketing and sales. That got me into development, being general managers of development businesses and managers of different organisations in the property development world, and then positions me where I am today. So it's a bit of a journey, but it's a bit of a fast track version of that. Yeah, no,
I love that, and I think I mentioned it in the last episode, but I think what's been just amazing for me to see is like how your depth of knowledge in this industry and in this space is really like quite crazy. Yep. If I'm like, let's hypothesize and say I'm a property developer, or I'm a bank, or I'm a, you know, whatever I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a startup, you name it. Talk to us about what services you can provide me as your potential customer and client. What's the business all about? Well,
a big part of the reason why I formed Baldwin Co was because there was so many pieces. I look at business and life sometimes as a bit of a jigsaw puzzle. That sometimes the easiest parts to start are the ones around the edges, Matt. Mm-hmm. Do you know, everyone goes and gets the square edges and then they build their way in. Mm-hmm. No one starts in the middle that I've seen. And I kind of have spent a lot of time in my life like learning the different parts of organisations. You mentioned banking. You know, we're speaking into banking sectors at the moment from private and looking at commercial sectors now. And so where the big part of setting up was an advisory business that looked across the entire platform, whether it's development, whether it's banking or project marketing, sales and real estate. And then breaking those individual sectors down, and we advise in those sectors, whether it's design, development, complete end to end, from acquisition, feasibilities, cost analysis, cost of being cost effective, and what you're delivering and who you're delivering it to. So we take a very, very, very wide span approach to all of that, and very cohesive look at it with your teams. And we come in and we end up becoming part of your team. And a lot of people that I've worked with and for have said, hey, Jaime, by the time you've left, we almost feel like you're part of our staff. And that's the way that it should feel. It should feel natural. So we're a natural integration advisory and position business that comes in and doesn't try and take over, but actually works in with your system. And then obviously on the sales and marketing side, which we work as an exclusive project marketing company that basically takes on the advisory role and looks at the end-to-end strategy that you're trying to achieve in your projects, and then sells them all the way through, and doesn't leave until everything's finished, and markets it for you.
Yeah, and I've had the privilege of seeing you at work, sitting with plans on a big screen, and like even looking from an advisory perspective around like, you know, mum and dad real estate, you know, property developers, right up to high-end property developers, multiple stories involved, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
And seeing how you've, you know, one of the things that you'll love if you ever have the privilege of working with Baldwin Co is the type of questions that Jaime and his team ask around not just who you are and your, you know, desired outcome, but practically around the actual project.
Definitely.
And some of the things I you know, want to open this up as a question, but more make it as a statement for you to reply to, is like, you know, we can kind of get drunk on our own ideas at times.
Yeah,
we
definitely.
can get intoxicated with, this is what I'm doing, not really think it clear. And I've loved seeing you kind of look at a plan, from planning to feasibility to finance to all those sorts of things, and ask some really crazy, awesome questions that would help someone that is, you know, moving in that direction.
And it's a super good point, because to be honest with you, like, I mean, I've been given the privilege over the recent years to work with some of the best minds in the industry, whether it's architecture, design, engineering, and construction from Australia right around the world. And do you know what's interesting is that it's not that people I guess make mistakes, but people get like you said, they get also complacent.
Yep.
And sometimes I walk in places and they've got the best designers on a job, the best engineers in the business and around the world, and all of the fundamentals that you would go, oh mate, how could you get it wrong? And sometimes it's like having that voice come along in your ear that goes, hey, have you thought about this? And the way that it's the questions that we do ask, and you know, I find that the common things are in through design and just going, hey, sometimes it's a cookie cutter model, sometimes it hasn't been thought through, it's been rushed through a process, and someone can come in third party, i.e. our business, and just go, have you thought about this and why we're doing it this way? And really putting it back onto our internal teams and external consultants to think deeper, to think bigger. And people will say, oh, Jaime, you've got big vision, big ideas. Well, I think that's important, and especially in business, because when you've got big thinking, big vision, big ideas, you bring that to the table, then it also helps bring other people's ideas to a bigger thinking, bigger vision. Yeah. And I've noticed over the years, I find, I talk about, some people understand when I say NSA and GFA, net sellable area versus general floor area. And a lot of people go, oh, you know, this is what we can sell. This is what costs us money. And I go to myself, well, yeah, that's one way to look at it, because it's from a feasibility and cash flow. But I look at it from the point of view as wasted space, what can become NSA and what should become GFA, and why, and how we can better make use of those spaces. So yeah,
I reckon you've saved businesses, developers, millions of dollars over the years through just that one simple principle of just looking at things through the filter of your experience, your depth of knowledge, etc. On that note, one of the great things about Baldwin Co is the internal team and the external advisors that you have and people that you work with really closely. Yeah. And I think that's one of the huge strengths of Baldwin Co.
Oh, definitely.
Can you tell us a bit about that whole space within the business?
Oh, definitely. Partnerships for us, and I did a whole episode on it recently, and I talked about this in more in depth. So if you want to know a bit more about that, jump onto our social pages and click on partnerships. But yeah, you're right, Matt. Like having the right people around you in any form of business or strategy is very important. And so when we set out to do things, we don't just jump into things because we need something. We also take a considered approach. We also I've talked about taking time back. I take my time and assess what the business has needed, as well as the ones that we're working on. And I've aligned myself with amazing consultants and that understand the developer or the marketing strategy or solutions that we're looking for and are part of that vision. And I think that's made us a stronger organization. And we haven't just kept them for one thing. We've actually kept them as part of our relationship and the way we operate as a business and the way that we go into other places. Yeah.
It seems to me like Baldwin & Co.'s team, like somehow you've managed to get the best of the best from advice on simple things like kitchens and dining
totally.
and all that, to landscaping, to architecture, to advice around finance and all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
And it just seems like it's been it's really, really strong in that area.
Yeah, and I really feel, Matt, it's something that people, I do what I do, other people have other careers and jobs, and they sometimes don't have the time to go out and find those people. And I really find that as a passion for me, to go out there and find the most, constructive people in the industry and around the industry that are going to serve our clients the best, in the best form and the best way, because it represents the brand, which is essentially me at this stage. And so I think that's taking that away from people that just don't have, who are time poor because they're busy doing what they're good at and what they love doing. Yeah. There's a buzz in that for me to make sure that we're offering that to the market.
No, I love that. I mean, look, that gives us a really good snapshot of Baldwin Co. and some of the ways that you would interact with clients, the services that you provide. And really what I'm hearing is it's an end-to-end solution.
It is. Good way of putting
from concept to completion.
Correct.
And so if you want to get in touch with Jaime, have any questions about that, feel free to reach out, social, email, wherever, and I'm sure he'll get straight back to you. We've been really talking about, I suppose, just some of the successes and strengths that you have in business. Yeah. And Baldwin Co. has going for it, which is so exciting. Would you mind giving us an insight just around the challenges that we face in this time around the practicals of business? Some of us are stuck at home. Some of us are trying to do work while educating our children. Yeah. What's been some challenges that you've faced? And how have you got through those?
Good question. I think for some of us out there, a lot of people are in the same boat. Like, I'm personally somebody that needs the intimacy of people. And being around people, and like, I guess the way that our business and myself personally works, I love the integration of humanity and people talking to one another, get cohesively and going deeper into thinking and pulling the best out of each other. And I think you can't do that over video. And you can have meetings over video and so on, but that's been the biggest distraction for me. And it's a thing missing in I guess in my personal life and in our business, is being able to go and meet with somebody and just thrash out with pens and paper on a whiteboard or blackboard or whatever you're using. Yeah. And I guess that's it slows down the process. Because when you're writing something and then you're sending it away, someone's looking at it, sending it back, you're losing so much time as a business going back and forward. And so we're just finding new ways of doing things, and we can't sit still. But that has been the biggest things that we've found as a distraction as a business, is just not being able to get in front of people and quickly get through design things and decision making quicker. But we're working through those things as a business.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's acting opposite at times, isn't it? And I think
it is. Yeah.
I've seen one of the ways you've tried to address that is even by putting yourself out online, producing this content, doing all those sorts of things to stay connected. Because most of our business, when it comes down to that, to people.
It is people,
serving people, being connected with people, and all those sorts of things. Is there anything else that you want to kind of, I suppose, because I'm the host of the show, so I can ask the awkward questions. Yeah. But is there anything else around who Baldwin Co are, what you bring to the market? Yeah. I
think as you were talking, one thing that just came to my mind instantly as you were talking about, it's always nice, even though Matt's a host, somebody else that watches you closely and they see things on what you're doing as an individual, as a business, things start to pop in your head. And I think if there's something that really makes JB, if you want to call it, who I am, and Baldwin Co, what they are, is we're relentless. And I think it's a spirit of relentlessness in everything we do. So when we go into something and we actually love seeing challenges. We love walking into situations and developments or projects or design issues. We love problems because I feel like it connects me more to the process because you can be used more. And in that process, I find it brings out that relentless spirit, that sort of determination of let's fix this as a team, let's do this, Let's bring some new thinking to it and getting people out of I love getting people, Matt, out of their comfort zones and bringing our thinking to the table. And I don't think that's probably the thing that people at home want to know more about myself and our business and how we can best serve your business and serve the best intentions of your project even, is that when we get the job and we're involved in what we're involved in, we're relentless in our approach, we're very astute in the way we think, and we bring strategic thinking in, and we're very intelligent in the way we go about what we do, but we're just, the way we go about it, you'll see it in how I talk, how I come across, that works all the way through that, as you said before, that end-to-end process in the business.
Yeah, no, I love
so
that.
Hopefully that sort of nails it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, so exciting. And even in this season, you know, whilst things are closing down, it's actually a season of massive opportunity right now for anyone that would just position themselves and put them in the right situation. And so exciting. And so I want to thank you for your time on your own TV show. And it's been a privilege just having this conversation. And so thanks for watching Tomorrow's Luxury Living with us today. Don't forget to subscribe, hit all up our social pages, or Jamie's,
we've got them all.
We've
got Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, on all the platforms.
Subscribe, turn on notifications so that you can stay up to date with some of the latest and greatest content that's out there. Thanks so much for watching.
Thanks, Matt.